Start your winning streak today with this highly underrated defense. Coming up next. Hey, this is Full Game Prometheus, the only YouTuber that shows you full games of all my tips and schemes on the channel. I show you the good, the bad, and the ugly. If guys, you new to my channel, make sure you subscribe button, also that notification icon, so you can never miss an upload. So guys, I recently switched over to this defense. It's in the Detroit playbook. It's also, I believe, in the Patriots playbook, and it's a nickel 3-3-5 odd. The nickel 3-3-5 odd. Now, this is a defense that I've never really used before in the past. I never thought it was that great, but I have switched over to it. I started labbing, and the setups are basically almost the same, almost identical to what it was like a few years ago. Now, a few years ago, the linebacker cross 3 show 2 was one of the more popular blitzes in the game. Very effective, got really glitchy animations with the block shed, and it's got really good coverages. And this particular coverage blitz is just as good as before. I use this as a base play. I actually have a full scheme I'm going to have on my Patreon channel for my Patreon members, because I've switched over to this defense, and I've been undefeated since I switched over to it, and I have very limited experience with it. So this confuses people. They don't know what to see with it. And what I like about this particular defense, the linebacker cross 3 show 2, it's very, very stout against the run. So if you've got a nickel type defense where you've got more defensive backs out there that's stout against the run, and you've got a lot of your speed guys out there, you don't have to put a lot of girth and a lot of big guys out there, that's going to make your defense very effective. So I'm going to show you the linebacker cross 3 show 2, how to set this up, why it's stout against the run. And then you can go ahead and watch my gameplays. You'll see me using this particular blitz setup and actually stopping you guys' runs with it. If you want to see the full scheme that I'm running, and you'll see me running it on my gameplay. But if you want the full scheme, you can go to my Patreon. I'm going to give this to my patrons just so they have a new defensive scheme to work with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and switch my guys, my defensive ends, to one side to another. And how I like to play this play is I like to go ahead and take my outside linebacker, or I flip this play where the blitzing linebacker is going to be on the left side. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and base a line. We're going to press. We're going to basically slant our defensive line down in. We're going to QB contain, and we're going to pass commit. Now, the way this blitz is set up, what's going to happen is your left of screen linebacker off the left end screen, he should come down and go after the quarterback immediately. Now, I want to go ahead and play right over the center, and really what the weakness of this field is that you see how that 3 hook zone comes to center. I want to go ahead and shoot out and play anything that comes over this way. This is going to be my area that I'm going to shoot to. That's also a weakness of this defense, but if you go ahead and change up your defense occasionally, what you can do is you can catch your opponent off guard. So we're going to go ahead and set this up and see if we can get the pressure off. So let's see here, see how the pressure comes off the edge, and you're going to get a lot of these little crazy block sheds with this. So watch how the pressure comes off right here. You get a block shed right here, and this block shed is going to come in and actually attack them. So what's really good about this particular play is that you've got this guy coming down center field. So if he tries to throw something over the middle, if he tries to throw a crossing route, he's going to be center field. And then you've got a rolling safety that actually comes back up to the back. So that's actually going to, if he tries to hit you with a deep post, he's going to roll right into that passing lane. Now, one of the adjustments you can do too is this guy's going to come out and then play a quick out. You could do a hard flat, or you could do a cloud flat. He'll come out and play the sideline or take away this area of the seam. And then once again, we just need to go ahead and use her over here where the opening of the field is going to be at, and essentially the hole is going to be right here, and pass up into the passing lane. So very easy to set up. You're just going to crash down, QB contain, pass commit, and then if you press your guys down, basically what they'll do is they'll put themselves in position. And if you actually show blitz, they'll bring these guys in a little bit quicker, a little bit closer to the quarterback too. And you can see right here, pressure comes in fairly quick. Now, one of the problems is that if you do run into somebody that runs common plays like this, like a trips offset, that's when you're going to have situations where you're going to have to play that seam route, because that's going to be where the player is going to be open. So you can see right here the seam has to be open. So you have to be used to running after that seam route right away. So your seam by the wide receiver, you can get your opponent's going to be able to go to hit that area. So that's the weakness of this particular defense, is that you're going to have to play that seam. So if you don't play the seam, you're going to give up plays like that. So you can give up big touchdowns. So it's important that you get out there. Now, if you do want to go ahead and play with your opponents, basically what you can do is essentially go ahead and drop all your guys into coverage. This will mess up his reads, especially if he's trying to throw underneath, and he'll actually get some people in the area. So that's another way to go ahead and throw him off guard. But I like to have the pressure. I want him to constantly rolling off to his right. It's an easy setup. If I want to, I can go ahead and send that pressure off the opposite side, and it's really good setup. Now I've got a few different other plays I like to go and jump into with this particular defense. So that's going to be on my Patreons. But this is a good play to throw back into your scheme if you just want something that's an easy blitz to set up, and it's very effective against the run. So let me go and show you some run plays and how quickly this thing. So if you got a guy that likes to run the ball a lot too, this is a really effective run defense. So it's definitely something you can go and throw into your scheme, because it like those inside zones, those outside zones underneath. Basically, they just don't work as well against this defense, and that's what's cool about this defense, is that it's just that effective against the run. These guys will get around gaps and get in the backfield. Once again, those inside zones are essentially going to basically get killed with this particular run defense. It's just very effective. So if you guys like these tips, make sure you hit the like button. And I'll be rolling out more offensive defensive tips on my channel and gameplay to show you how this works online. So once again, thank you for your support, and until next time.